Well, the time is just gone, 16 minutes past 8, as we kick off this morning, taking a look at this bombshell decision by the German government not to supply Israel with weapons. And we are now joined by Zukiswa Wanner, the first woman from Africa to be awarded Germany's Goethe Medal. Uh, Zukiswa, good morning to you and welcome to the show.
Good morning, Inayet. How are you doing today?
Yes, now doing exceptionally well, and I must commend you. I actually quite like that scarf around your neck, Zukiswa.
Thank you very much. I like yours too.
Thank you very much. Well, Zukiswa, I think before we just get to this Germany's bombshell decision, it is clear that, as an author, obviously you've received many accolades, and to be awarded this medal, the Goethe Medal in Germany, perhaps just an overview before we actually get into this decision and talk more about Israel and about weapon sales to Israel.
It seemed at the time that I got it in 2020 to be a great honor. It was for culture and cultural networking, if you will. I have to say, and I talked about it here on Salam Media earlier in the year, in March, I gave it back for Germany's complicity in being the second biggest weapons trader to Israel. So I gave it back, and then 24 hours later, Egyptian who had also won it, an artist, also gave his back.
Yes, clearly, and obviously, I know that Germany has come under a lot of fire because of the support to Israel, and a lot of it has been blatant, it's been open, but also in terms of Palestinian protests in Germany. To a large extent, the German government obviously tried to clamp down on any pro-Palestinian protests, and we know a lot has been happening in Germany since this genocide is unfolded, since the 7th of October, Zukiswa.
Yes, absolutely. We have seen a Palestinian writer, for instance, who was supposed to get an award at Frankfurt Book Fair, being told not to come and turn up for her stance. We have seen a German Ghanaian writer getting the award rescinded because they signed a letter speaking up against the genocide. We have seen the German culture minister at a festival stating after Palestinian and Israeli documentary maker won an award that they were only applauding for the Israeli and not for the Palestinian. So these are the things that we have been seeing, and there is a lot of clamping down. And we have seen other institutes where uh, pro-Palestinians have been removed as curators, and in return, we have also seen artists say they're boycotting Germany.
Yes, certainly. And also, I think when we're looking at this decision now, no more weapons to apartheid Israel. Now, it also comes at a time where we've seen a Palestinian activist facing the wrath of the German government. We've seen a lot of violence. We've seen a lot of intimidation. We've seen people being threatened for calling for an end to Israel's genocide in Gaza. And we've seen this commitment from certain German authorities to stifle any criticism of Israel's actions. Now, again, we're trying to actually make sense of this because, on the one hand, activists are feeling the brunt of the German government's actions. And now, this decision, no more weapons to apartheid Israel, is this going to be somewhat of a turning point, Zukiswa?
To be honest, I really think the article from Al Jazeera and Reuters was a bit of a clickbait because the German government itself has said they haven't stopped doing it. They have paused doing it, and they've paused doing it because they're being taken to court by many different organizations. Additionally, there is also the problem that they have an election next year. So they do realize that, unlike other times, quite a lot of their voters are not happy with what they are doing as a government. So I think it's somewhat opportunistic, and the fact that they have stated that they haven't stopped. I do realize this year the weapons of war were only worth 32,000 euros, 32,449 euros, according to an Al Jazeera article. But they really have not done anything that we need to applaud yet. There is more to be done in light of the United Nations votes this week, where Israel was called by the United Nations, by the majority of UN member nations, as an apartheid state, and that there should be more sanctions placed on them. I think this is something that they actually really need to do more of, particularly because they were responsible for the Holocaust. In fact, as a matter of fact, I always wonder why it is that Israel was not created in Germany, given that they were responsible. I don't know why the Palestinian people have suffered the brunt of their actions.
Well, certainly. And also, I think what is important to understand is looking at Germany and its standing in Europe, because this article that you are referring to obviously saying that this could possibly be a turning point in global politics, and looking at what is taking place in Europe as well, where we see the UK to an extent suspending licenses for arms export to Israel. We've seen a Dutch court ordering Netherlands to halt exports of fighter jets. And also just looking at what the United States of America, and we know certain rumblings have come out. Whether it is happening or not, we're not too sure. But all of this playing out, and Germany, obviously, in terms of its standing both in Europe and in the world in a general, do you think that there is a lot of pressure, on Germany at this point in time, apart from just the legal challenges it's facing internally?
There certainly is, particularly from their voters, as I mentioned earlier. But you know, I don't think we can celebrate anybody in the global north at the moment, perhaps apart from Spain, because what we have seen is the UK suspended 30 licenses out of 300 and something. That's really insignificant because then it continues. So a lot of it is opportunistic from the global north, so that they will say, in the same way that they say during apartheid, oh, well, we spoke up, yet we know they really didn't do much. But when it became convenient because of people power in their own countries, they started trying to change the position they stood on because they were in danger of losing some of the raw materials that they get from across the world. And yeah, that was essentially it. I think that just being opportunistic, and I'm not applauding anybody yet. I think we need more. As Omar Baguti says in an article yesterday, um, Palestinians are demanding an end to complicity. And we're seeing the complicity is coming mostly from global north countries. And it's
Yes,
unethical.
Zukis. Well, certainly, Zukiswa. Zukiswa, I'm going to put you on hold. We're going to go for a quick ad break. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Day by day. This is Salam Media.
It's a wonder how kids get anything done these days. With all the distractions, when do they even get time to study? As a mother, all I can really do is make sure they have all they need to perform at their best. That's why I choose to include Sunfoil triple refined pure sunflower oil with every meal I make. Naturally cholesterol-free and approved by the Heart and Stroke Foundation as part of a balanced eating plan. So whether I'm cooking, frying, or baking, I know every dish will be a wholesome one. Sunfoil, now we're cooking.
Are you ready to ignite a wave of compassion and make a lasting impact? This Rabi'ul Awal, let's come together for something truly meaningful. Join Penny Appeal South Africa's Rabi'ul Awal campaign. Build a water well, provide a hot meal, sponsor a food garden, or plant an olive tree in Palestine or fruit tree in South Africa. Make a difference today. Visit our website www.pennyappeal.org.za or call 031 1100 573. Your giving, their dawn of hope.
Discover the Africa of your dreams and surround yourself with her spectacular beauty. Relax beneath her serene sunsets and explore wildlife at its natural best. It's where the pride of Africa comes together. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve. Get to know the Big Five or cruise on an elephant safari game drive. Interact with lion and tiger cubs and enjoy world-class halal cuisine while we pamper you during your 5-star stay. Indulge in the true African experience. For reservations, call now on 042 203 1400 or visit kwantu.co.za. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve, the place of gathering.
Get ready for the Palestine Solidarity Alliance 15th Annual Mass March for Freedom. 6 October, Rose Park, Lenasia. Tickets and t-shirts are on sale every weekend at Frontline Hyper Lenasia. Support a variety of pop-ups and be a part of a community dialogue with prominent guest speakers while receiving feedback on the various solidarity events. For more information, simply call 083-258-2786. Don't miss the Palestine Solidarity Alliance 15th Annual Mass March for Freedom, 6 October, Rose Park, Lenasia.
Connect and stay ahead with Salam Media. This is Salam Media, coming to you live from South Africa.
Well, we continue our discussion this morning with Zukiswa Wanner, the first woman from Africa to be awarded Germany's Goethe medal. And we are talking about an article that had surfaced in Reuters and in Al Jazeera as well, talking about no more weapons to apartheid Israel from Germany. And we are trying to obviously unpack and understand what some of the issues are and if this is actually happening. And as Zukiswa mentioned, that at this point in time, the German government has issued a statement about the statement that was issued in Reuters, saying that there is no German arms export boycott against Israel. Now, Zukiswa, just to continue and also to understand, obviously, what is playing out on the ground in Germany in terms of the protests, in terms of stifling Palestinian protests, but also at the same time looking at the German political elite. Now, it is clear that they have justified their stance over and over again. And you mentioned that, there is this alleged feeling of guilt for the Holocaust, the need to make amends by supporting Israel as well, but also at the same time looking at being anti-Palestinian is becoming somewhat of a state policy in Germany. And what we are seeing is what we see in many other countries that have moved towards more right-wing governments where they try to justify anti-immigration policies, downplaying, the persisting anti-Semitism amongst white Germans. All of this actually playing out, and this coming from Germany's political elite, and like you mentioned, elections coming up as well. And all of this, at the end of the day, we see crackdowns on protests, we see police violence. We've just seen so much happening in Germany to the extent that a woman was actually taken to court for chanting "From the river to the sea."
Absolutely. We've also seen, remember, there was supposed to be the big pro-Palestine rally in Berlin, and they banned speakers from entering. Germany, and earlier this year. So there has been a lot of playing up to. It's almost as if Germany is competing with America, with the United States on who is more pro-Israeli, who is more right-wing, who is anti the Palestinian people, and it's particularly riling given Germany's particular history with the genocides next door in Namibia, with the genocide in Tanzania, and the Holocaust itself. So it's almost like they're always on the wrong side of the genocide.
Well, it certainly is, and yeah, I'm glad you mentioned Namibia as well, because obviously it's got a history of colonization, and I recall even in terms of reparations for Namibia, and this became a major issue, a major talking point. But again, are we surprised, Zukiswa, when we are dealing with countries like Germany that have got history of genocide, that's got history of colonizing people, of subjugation of people, and as at the same time also we know Africa, the African continent in particular, we still haven't recovered from the effects and from the disastrous consequences of colonization from countries like Germany.
Absolutely, and in fact, we would find that a lot of the weapons that we are seeing in that have killed hundreds of thousands in DR Congo right now, in Eastern DR Congo, in Sudan as well, having Israeli origins. So we're not surprised. I think the average watcher is not surprised, but there is also a whole lot of people who had bought into the uh, uh, often touted Western style democracy nonsense for so many years, which really, Western style democracy was really a word for, a phrase for, oh, these are the people that we'd like in power that will be able to control in global South countries. And now their own citizens in the global North are realizing that they've been sold a lie for such a long time.
Yes, and also the mere fact that when South Africa took this case of the of Israel to the ICJ, the first country to have actually responded to a counter South Africa's case was Germany.
Absolutely, we saw that, and it was unfortunate that the case that Nicaragua brought against Germany for their weapons exports to Israel did not succeed at the International Criminal Justice Court for International Criminal Justice. So there is that to be talked about as well, and but one of the most beautiful things that we've seen through this is the solidarities and the fact that a lot of people will realize what their governments are doing. In fact, a lot of people, I think Alex Schwartz is German and is one of the lawyers who has been taking Germany to the European Center for Constitutional Human Rights. He's a lawyer at the Center for Constitutional Human Rights, and he has been taking German to court for their weapons. And, it almost seems as if while we are horrified and seeing what is happening, not just in Palestine, but from Israeli weapons in Palestine, in Congo, in Sudan, in Haiti, in India occupied Kashmir, all these things that are happening. Yet a lot of people have decided we're not despairing. It's deemed worth quoting Nadim Aslam, Palestinian British Pakistani writer, who says despair has to be earned. I personally have not done all I can to change things. I haven't yet earned the right to despair. And people are not despairing, they keep pushing. And this is what's happening in the world because we can't allow evil to overtake good. We can't allow more people to die. So we do whatever it is we can. And South Africa has been admirable in this regard. I am aware that there was a planned Zionist conference in South Africa, and we're also really grateful that at the last minute, Constitution Hill said, no, we're not giving it space for this.
Well, definitely. In fact, we covered that as well, and I see that's been a subject of extensive discussion. But again, once again, this is bears testimony to South Africa, its position, and many South Africans, millions of South Africans identifying with the cause of Palestine. And I'm sure we will be touching base at some point in time to Kiswa. But for now, we thank you, and we do appreciate you taking time out with us this morning right here on Salam Media.
Thank you very much, Inaya, and hopefully we'll speak very soon when there is a truly free Palestine.
Thank you for that. Zukiswa Wanner was us this morning, first woman from Africa to be awarded Germany's Goethe medal against a background of weapon sales that have come under scrutiny to apartheid Israel by the German government. With that, we're going to go for a quick break. We come back, we will be talking about Kashmir holding its first regional election since the revocation of autonomy. We will be talking with Kashmir-based advocate and lecturer in law. We'll be talking with Malik Amir.